Warmly welcome to our session today, where we will talk about how we onboarded new employees to an unbuilt factory with help of social VR. To avoid any misconceptions, the factory is today built, up and running with production, and earlier this year it was awarded and recognized as a global lighthouse by World Economic Forum. My name is Anna Kau, and I am heading the people function with the group supply at Ericsson. And with me today, I have my awesome colleague, David.
Thanks, I'm David, learner experience designer.
But before jumping into virtual reality and the VR solution for our onboarding, we wanted to give you the context of Ericsson as a company. Ericsson's purpose is to empower a connected world. Not only connected, but also intelligent and sustainable. Our main mission is to provide internet access for all. The picture in the middle here illustrates just that, showing our technology and expertise that has modernized the Greenland's network, a very difficult terrain and tough environmental conditions. And until recently, these areas have had poor or no internet access. Now, the broadband access is the backbone of the country. This map gives you a hint of our presence and how we serve customers in more than 180 countries. We are spread around the globe with more than 100,000 talented employees worldwide. We have more than 57,000 granted patents, and we continue to invest to strengthen our 5G leadership. But now, let's talk about what you are all here to listen to. One of our successful virtual reality projects, onboarding of new employees to our 5G smart factory that was at the time not yet built. So, turning back to early 2019, when our CEO announced that we will build a state-of-the-art smart factory in Louisville, Dallas, producing 5G radios to our customers in North America. What he meant with the state-of-the-art was that we were expected to go beyond technology and build a factory that was to become one of the world's most modern and high-tech factories, role modeling Industry 4.0. But not only was this recognition we are externally striving for, this also had to be reflected in our employee experience and in everything we do at this site. So this was one of the business challenges we had already before the factory was built. The factory also had to be built and have production up and running within only 12 to 18 months. This also meant that to be able to have production up and running in such a short time, we needed to immediately start the recruitment process. Onboarding of employees started already in a few months after taking the decision to build the factory, and construction had just started. At that time, we also did not have any internal manufacturing or production competence in the North America, since we never had production in the region before. So how to create a world-class technology employee experience under these circumstances? How did we overcome these challenges? Well, we very quickly realized all the great opportunities with social VR that would bring to close the gaps of our business challenges. And maybe the greatest opportunity with social VR was to bridge the 5,000 miles gap between our construction site in Louisville, Dallas, and our sister factory in Estonia. It also bridged the gap of having manufacturing experts in Ericsson, Estonia, to be responsible for the continuing onboarding of our employees hired at the smart factory in Dallas without having them flying back and forth over the Atlantics. So what we came up with was to pre-record 360 videos of our factory environment in Estonia, having our head of operations and head of people as our tour guides. The great thing with the solution we chose was that we were able to overlay the pre-recorded videos with a live avatar joining the sessions directly from the factory in Estonia. The live guide, or sort of the avatar, was our improvement manager in Estonia, and he was joining to answer questions, but also to have more in-depth conversations about the information shared in the videos. Trying to visualize it a bit better how it worked. Here you can see our employees in Dallas joining the onboarding session from a conference room. In the same session, we have our live guide overlaid in the pre-recorded videos, being able to stop the videos, ask if they understand what has been shared, answer the potential questions, but most importantly, since the content was pre-recorded, there is no limitation of what information and conversations that can be in the sessions having a live guide joining. At the time for our onboarding period, there was a limitation of 8 participants to be able to ask live questions to the avatar. However, you could be up to 40 people in the session, but still a limitation of only 8 people asking questions. This was luckily not an issue for us, since we had a constantly flow of newcomers each week, so we were able to schedule the sessions for 8 people only without any delays in them taking the onboarding. In total, we had 9 pre-recorded videos covering the tour in the factory, starting with a general introduction to the country, general facts about the site, then following the product flow through the factory. Each video was approx 2 minutes long, and our head of production was our guide, talking about what you see at each station and how the station is being operated. As you can imagine, 2 minutes is not a very long time to make sure our new employees fully understand each station. That's why, once again, the overlaid live guide showing as an avatar in each video was critical for the success of this onboarding. And when the video content was shared, he could, depending on the group joining, tailor-made the message and further go into details of each station. So why take this onboarding session in social VR, visiting our sister factory in Estonia? Well, firstly, since we at that time didn't have a factory environment in Dallas, we thought it was critical to bring them to the environment they were hired for. By this onboarding, we could give them the smart factory experience, to see and to understand the setup of our robots and assembly lines, talk directly to our experts in Estonia, and truly understand the product flow in the factory that they were to be working with. This type of immersive training we believed would make the learning truly stick, and the feedback shows that we were absolutely right. Now we would like to give you the opportunity to taste how this solution looks like, but I'm sure that you are all aware of that regular 360 videos can never capture the immersive experience on how this is experienced in virtual reality. But at least you get an understanding on how the tour is built up, and you get an understanding of the live avatar solution.
So, Kuldar, let's go inside and see what we have here.
Let's go. We are starting our tour from our warehouse. The first area over there is receiving materials and storing them. The second area is to prepare materials for the production.
Okay, guys, so you got any question about the warehouse solution?
Yes, I got one. Yeah, please
Okay.
go ahead, Tom. Okay, I'll go. So let me get my pen out so I can point. So over there, what is the branding of this over here? Over the materials.
That's a Mechalux storing system.
And the robots don't need any light to function?
No, only the laser light, so they turn off all the other. You don't need any other light.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's good. That's cool.
Yeah, what you just saw here was a screen recording where a laptop user takes part of the onboarding experience. However, when we launched this in Texas, US, we used only VR headsets because we had a kind of a controlled situation. We had a specific group of people in Texas and some other people in Estonia, so we could handle giving them VR headset access to this, and that worked perfectly well, and it made sense. However, rumors spread about this, that you could take a guided tour in this factory, and more people wanted to hear about it. So we learned that we need to widen the possibility of consuming these experiences. So we went and sold that for tablet users, iPad users, phones, and laptops. So this is where we are right now, and people do expect to be able to see it in for all those different scenarios and situations. And I will later get to talk more about how that affected the platforms we utilize today. Going to next slide. Another reflection, zooming out a bit on this project. Personally, I find it very easy to get stuck when kicking off a VR project. There are so many considerations to handle. So while you do those evaluations, weighing back and forth, VR platforms pop up like mushrooms, and it's very hard to get going. And if you look here to the right, I mean, you have all those different kind of immersive levels to consider. Should you aim for that top right, really comfortable, nice and cozy VR headset, maybe 6 dimensions of freedom, or could you have a little bit of a lower, maybe just having 3 dimensions of freedom? Can you, I mean, maybe there is a lower budget version that works as well, good enough. And looking to the left, I mean, how important is the battery time for the VR headset? And how should we ensure that it's very easy to get started as a new user? So in learning and development, where I work, we had been weighing this for quite some time when Anna put us to the test here, requesting a solution that would be up and running in 3 months. And at the time, that was not, we were far from that situation. But anyhow, that meant that we had to fast forward and we had to leave some processes, actually skipping them completely, which was kind of a liberation for us at this time. And the next slide, this just do it mentality was important for us to get started, and even more important to deliver on time. And as seen here in the first bullet, we started from the SpinView platform. It was based on using a combination of Oculus Go headsets, 360 videos, and these avatars for teleconference style meetings within this space. It was not a perfect platform, but it worked. And well, at least mostly it did work. But since then, our options have evolved. So we have utilized Microsoft SharePoint Spaces for self-exploratory things where you go in as a standalone user, and the 360 video capabilities in that platform has made it possible to do large scale for some, if people want to explore buildings, demo centers, and so forth. And on third bullet here, we have used VR headset in kind of kiosk modes where you just play 360 videos, which has worked really good. That we have a platform for that as well, where when we acquired a new business, we let employees of that business see different parts of Ericsson. And that was highly appreciated. We got great comments from the users on that one. But currently, we use a set of different social VR platforms, of which, well, the favorite one in learning and development right now is Mozilla Hubs. And it gives us a great flexibility where we can we produce once and we can let all kind of different devices take part of that experience. If you're a headset user or a laptop user, whatever, the phone, it's going to work anyway. But okay. That about the distribution options we have for these 360 guided tours. I just want to comment that we will not only do 360 guided tours, we do other VR training, such as you can set up a base station and you can collaboratively work in VR to do that installation and so forth. And we have other platforms for that, but this is for 360. So what do learners say about this? We asked them the question, how likely are you to recommend this session to a colleague? And they answer 0 for not likely and 10 for very likely. And we make that into a net promoter score. And here we get, for this specific solution, 87. And that is quite hard to get, and we're proud of it. And this is also why it's very rewarding to have this figure 87. It's very rewarding to have that feedback. It's rare to work with a technology that gives such great feedback back to the people who are distributing this and working with it. So just one quote here is a user saying, "It was a great overall learning experience, very professional, knowledgeable trainers. The videos were very informative, appreciated the vision of the overall end-to-end process and the possibility to pause the tour and discuss with other participants, asking questions and so forth." We did deliver this in a short time, and we made it happen cross-organization and across the geographical boundaries we have internally. So in that sense, we think it is a very successful project, and also we can see that we won an award in Estonia for the best onboarding and employee branding experience. To the bottom right here. But then how come it worked this time? Because it sometimes doesn't work, but this time it really worked. And I think it was a shared vision about where we were heading to this smart factory vision. And we also have a lot of alignment on management level, both on supply global level, on US, the different organizations, learning and development at global level, and in specific countries. And also the fact that we actually did start with a platform that offered a balance of headset and technology that and a format for delivering it that actually worked. So we did start with this set of given. But then what's next? What does it mean? What are we up to right now? And we are still exploring, learning as we go. And one example of what we are producing right now is job tasting, where we want to promote internal reskilling and upskilling options, and also drive the external pipelines for recruitment. And here you can see, as a user, what it's like working as an ASIC developer at Ericsson, with the purpose, of course, and to attract more people to work as ASIC developer, hardware developer, and so forth, some strategic job roles here. We are doing what we call a learning studio, where we let people experience the digital skills offering we have. And we have a lot of offerings, not everybody know about them. So we need to highlight that, and we use VR for that. We're also working to invite customers to our factories and to our demo centers. And another one right now is global onboarding, where we let people get to know how Ericsson works, but not from the normal side. We use it from the customer perspective. So from the customer's viewpoint, the customer journey into Ericsson. And going to next slide, here's an example of that one where we're heading on some kind of sketches on that one here that we are actually not far from launching. We're going to give them a red carpet treatment and Ericsson look and feel of the environment, but we take the Ericsson look and feel into VR, which is also shown on next slide, where you can see how, and here you can see how the real Ericsson environment, as an example, to the left or in the middle, a rooftop, the grass growing on a rooftop. We take those components and we lift them into VR so people recognize the Ericsson look and feel, so to say. But we also want to expand the boundaries of the physical worlds, of course, as well. Then, yeah, and that's actually it. And I would like to ask if there are any questions. So Anna and I were here to hear your questions and answer them in the chat.